What is going on, everyone? Tim Williams here. We're here to break down Thursday night's matchup between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. We have a 47.5 over under total here. Patriots are favored with a team high total of 27.25, and the Falcons coming in at 20.25 home dogs. So yeah, we're going to break it down here. If you are new to the channel, what's going on? My name is Tim. We are going to thoroughly break down this slate and kind of get a good feel of where we think this game potentially can go. We're going to go through each and every slide that I have presented here and kind of pick some of our favorite guys here, talk about some value plays and so on and so forth. So let's just dive right in here. So yeah, like we talked about, Patriots are favored in this game, 27.25 team total compared to the Atlanta Falcons 20.25 team total. And we will start with the road team here. And some of the keys to success to me for the New England Patriots in this game will be their run offense. They are 16th overall in yards per carry so far this season. It's an excellent spot here against a Falcons defense who are 21st in yards allowed per carry. So excellent spot for the Patriots. We have a little bit of injury news to wait on, but I definitely like the run game here. Fade the pass game. I wouldn't totally fade it, but I think you can maybe make lineups without Mac Jones, and we'll talk about it when we build a lineup. But yeah, Patriots are 14th in yards per pass, which isn't bad. They're just kind of right in the middle. Falcons 17th in the league in yards allowed per pass. So, their run defense is a little bit weaker for the Falcons. Passing, not too bad. You have to think of this game as it's a primetime game. Everyone's going to be watching. So I think it's going to play out a little bit differently than it would on a Sunday game. And then for the Patriots, it's defense, defense, defense. I think they have one of the best defenses in all of the NFL. So definitely interested in some of the New England defenses in some of my lineups. And then, yeah, next we will talk about some of the key players I think that I will definitely be having in my player pool here. And it starts out with Damien Harris. So right now he is questionable, 8.8K on DraftKings. And you can use this information for FanDuel as well if you're a FanDuel player. But when the Patriots are inside the 10-yard line, Harris gets the rock. He is getting the ball. 64.24% of rushing attempts inside the 10 go to Damien Harris. So 12 total carries within that 10-yard range. So it's all about opportunity. I'm going to look at this particular slate, this showdown, and think about who has the most opportunity in this game. If Harris is healthy and is playing, I think he gets a ton of work here. If he is out, just substitute him with Stevenson. Stevenson, really took advantage of the spot he was given last week. He is a little bit cheaper than Harris, 8.6K. If Harris is in play, I don't think Stevenson it will be in play at that price point at all. Next, we have Hunter Henry at 7K. He is by far my favorite wide receiver on the Patriots. And yes, I know he is a tight end, but it's safety in numbers. He is consistent as consistent can be. Patriots average about 32 pass attempts per game. They spread the ball around. And while Jacoby Myers at 8K gets the main share of targets, Henry sees the end zone. He is the guy that they look to in the end zone if they're not running the ball the majority of the time. 7 touchdowns on the year compared to Jacoby Myers' lonely 1 touchdown. So they're feeding Henry the ball. It's no surprise there. So I like Henry here in the end zone and Harris in the end zone as well, because like I said, it's all about opportunity, right? And then let's talk about the Patriots defense, 5.6K. Yes, they are priced up a little bit. And a lot of guys are going to tell you to just fade defenses. And I think that could somewhat give you an edge if a lot of people are fading defenses. I've been playing defenses a lot, definitely a lot more than kickers. And I've definitely had some pretty good results with this. So Patriots defense, they're just a little bit special, right? They're elite. I don't mind playing the D, especially in, lineups that I'm building with Matt Ryan. I'm not afraid of that. We've seen some takedowns this year where defenses are matched up with the opposing quarterback. So who has a better shot at overall fantasy points in the slate, right? Is it going to be the Patriots D or guys like Aguilar or, similar, crappy wide receivers at the same price? So I will take my chances with the New England Patriots defense. And then we'll talk a little bit about value here. Jonnu Smith, he is questionable at this moment, 2.4K. I expect him to play. He gets end zone work, and if he gets one in the end zone or vultures one, he easily pays off this price. So remember, it's about opportunity. Jonnu Smith doesn't get a ton of work. Same with Henry down the field, but when it gets close to the end zone, these guys are fairly reliable. So I like Henry. I like Smith as a punt play. It's not a priority, but definitely in the player pool. JJ Taylor at 1K, crowded backfield. It's hard to get to him if everyone is healthy. So keep in mind for some running back injury news. And then N'Keal Harry, questionable at the moment. He played last week, 900. I think he's a fine punt play, right? Like pretty meh, but he's out there. He is playing snaps. He might see a target or two. If he takes 2 catches, he pays that price tag off. I think he'll be somewhat lower owned. So he's a fine punt play. And then last week, he actually played more snaps than Bourne. I don't mind Bourne at all because he is getting some deep field work, and he has been scoring some touchdowns here, but we'll talk about that when we build our lineup. So that is it for the value here. And then we'll flip it to the Atlanta Falcons side. So lower team total, 20.25. Some of their keys to a success would be passing. They're going to have to pass the ball. I do think they are going to be playing from behind the majority, if not all of this game. They're 15th overall in yards per pass. It is a decent spot here against the Patriots defense, who are 8th in yards allowed per pass. It is their only hope if they want to, win this game. And then we'll talk about their run game. Should you fade it? Probably. I'm leaning towards fading it. Should you totally fade it? That's up to you. Atlanta is 29th in yards per carry. They have just been awful running the ball. Patriots 14th in the league in yards allowed per carry. That Patriots defense is just getting better and better every week. So that is a tough spot for the running backs. We're talking about opportunity, and I want to look at upside. So guys like Mike Davis, Gallman, I just don't think that's going to be it. And then we'll talk about Cordell Patterson here in a minute. Matt Ryan at 10.8K, start at the top. He's going to have to throw the ball. Simple as that. Probably a lot. Probably will make some mistakes. And if you have the Patriots defense, you will benefit from those mistakes. But if the Falcons have success, it has to go through him. They are going to be playing from behind. At least that's my game script. So he will throw the ball. I think he's going to throw the ball a lot to Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts will be very highly owned, and that is totally fine. 9.6K. He is their best weapon. He is their best option right now. 20% target share this season. That is excellent. He gets air yards. He gets end zone work. He gets opportunity, plain and simple. Just a solid complement to Matt Ryan's stacks here. Cordell Patterson, questionable at the moment, 10.2K. Honestly, this is a very tough price. For me, he does get goofy work in this offense, though. He runs the ball a little bit. He gets targets. He's just a straight up gadget man, and that works, right? Definitely interesting in these showdown slates. Saw limited work last week due to injury, but probably a good fade at that price point. But yeah, I have a little bit of interest, but it's going to be really hard to pay that off. And plus, he is questionable. So then we talk about these wide receivers that the Falcons have right now, and it's pretty gross. I'll be honest with you. Zacchaeus, Gage, Sharp, who knows who or what, who's going to get this ball, right? These are ranked in order for me. Zacchaeus sees more work in the red zone, so I'm going to make it that simple. Gage is the highest priced one. 6.6K just feels gross to me. So I will just kind of take a chance at Zach Zacchaeus. Is that his name, Zach? Probably not. Total punts here. Lee Smith at 200. If Hurst is out, I think he's a somewhat decent punt play. He's a guy that they could look to in the end zone. It is a showdown slate. We've seen a lot of work going to tight end 2s, tight end 3s. So I have interest in him only if Hurst is out. Darby, Blake, really cheap at 400, 200. They are seeing some work on the field, but it's just a gross wide receiver set, and it's going to be really tough to kind of pinpoint who gets the ball. So to me, I like Matt Ryan because they're coming from behind. Pitts I like a lot because he's just clearly their number one guy at this point. And then let's look at DraftKings here. So we'll talk about maybe a Patriots build, and then we'll put like a Falcons guy in the captain. So starting out here, with the Patriots, Mac Jones, he had a big game last week, finally got his first 3-touchdown game and only got him 19 points. I think he's easily fadeable. Both quarterbacks have very, very low floors and have okay ceilings, but I think with Mac Jones, he's only broken the 20+ mark once this whole season. So, you know, is he going to be this accurate as he was last week? 19 for 23. I don't think so. He didn't even break 200 yards. He's just an easy fade to me, especially a team who likes to run the ball a lot. They have like 4 running backs if they're all healthy, and they're probably all going to see some work here. So I could easily just fade Mac Jones. This doesn't feel like a slate where you can just go out and roster both quarterbacks. So if I'm playing one of them, it's going to be Ryan. But as far as captains go for the Patriots, if Harris is in there, I like him a ton here. And then as well as the guy who gets all the red zone work, Hunter Henry. Why overthink it? He's going to get all the work. And yes, I know, is it silly to not put his quarterback in there if you think he's going to score? I don't think so. Not on a slate like this. So I like Henry here a lot. And then if Harris is healthy, I like him a lot. I think he's going to get a lot of work. I know the upside is maybe a little bit capped because he's not doing a lot of receiving work, but he's just their clear number 1 running back. So if he is in play, I would take Stevenson out of it. And then really, really like that defense. So I probably, if I had to guess, I'll probably play like 4 or 5 lineups. And I think 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 4 will probably have Patriots defense in it. Do I want to captain it? I don't really think so, but I think they're just in play here. I think they have a higher ceiling than guys like Aguilar, Jonnu Smith, et cetera, et cetera. So we could start out like that. And then, we're going to want to bring it back, right? So if you think Henry's going to get in the end zone, Harris is going to run it up the field. And if they're leading, they're going to be running the ball. So Matt Ryan's going to be needing to throw it, and he's going to need to throw it to one of his best guys, who I think is Pitts. And that leaves you with 4,700 to do whatever you want. You can play either one of the kickers. That is totally fine. You can play one of these value plays. You can go to you can pair Matt Ryan up with another wide receiver here. So you could do quite a few different things here. And then let's look at an Atlanta Falcons captain build and see what that kind of looks like for us. To me, I think it's Pitts. I think he's the clear number 1 in this offense. If they're going to win, I think the offense kind of has to go through him and Matt Ryan. Gallman is really expensive at that price point. Patterson expensive as well, but makes for an interesting contrarian option. Gage is kind of pricey at that, for what he's done. So I really like those 2 guys. If I'm going to take another chance on a wide receiver, it's going to be Zacchaeus. I know I called him Zach. Sorry, Mr. Zacchaeus. Put him in there. I don't mind that. And then let's go back to some of these New England guys. Like, I really think Henry, he's going to get a lot of looks there. Harris or Stevenson, whoever it's going to be. And that leaves you with 3.6K. And there's just, value there. You can go double, tight end studs. We've seen slates where 2 tight ends have done very well for people. JJ Taylor, if Harris is out, and you want to pair him up with Stevenson, you think they're just going to run the ball like crazy. You can get a kicker, whatever you want to do. So that'll do it. My name's Tim Williams. Do me a huge favor. Thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel. I hope you like this. I'm kind of going back to my roots here and building these slides again. So yeah, super fun. Best of luck to you in your contests. Drop a comment below. I'm curious to see who you think is going to win this game. Take it easy. Peace out.